not happening. So let's get back in. Let's just go right into it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know I need to edit it, but I need to introduce. So, hey guys, welcome back to the Crazy Juicy Love podcast. This is Making Quarantine Juicy series, and I have my wonderful guest returning for like the 5th time. She is a men's styling coach and dating coach, Tavia Sharp. Welcome, Tavia. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah. So just for people who don't know, well, first of all, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast. And for those who don't know Tavia, like tell us a little bit more in detail about like what you do and what you provide for people.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like to say that I help my people use image as a tool to get dateable, promotable, and investable. So when I say image, I mean more than just our appearance. That's just one aspect, but it's also how we communicate ourselves, how we express ourselves, and how we show up both in person and online. So It's really about feeling your most confident self and using all of these tools to enhance that and get the results that you want in your life. So
I love it. She's giving me a couple of tips to do. But before we get into the podcast, how are you doing with what's going on in the world, family, friends? Like, how are you mentally doing over there?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I'm actually really taking this time to go inward a bit more and think about what is it that I really want to move into, step into, go forward, right? Just like I coach my clients on that, it's really about how do I see myself, right? Now that things are shifting, what does that look like for me? Am I here to serve? What is my higher purpose beyond what I've been doing up until this point?
Right.
And how do I show up in a way that leads people to their own, next best self, right? Because I don't think we're going to go back to normal in the way that we were. So it's all about, moving forward, and then I want to support people in that as well. So whether that's, in their dating lives, in their, in their career, really just crushing their goals, and how can I support them? So good. I'm good.
I've been like, for me, I do have a high level of anxiety because I don't know why. I'm in, 2 entrepreneur classes, and something really clicked in my brain over the last couple of weeks, and I just can't stop creating. And that question came up too, what you just said, like, what is my bigger purpose? And I was just like, the first thing that came up was, I'm going to do this podcast because I was just so sick and tired of seeing every single post after post on Facebook about this disease and this thing, and which is some of it is good information, some of it is fake news. But then to see like certain friends or people, acquaintances, like rebuttal about something, I'm just like, I had to like block a couple of people. I'm not here to argue about what's happening in the world. We're all dealing with some aspect of this thing. Like, and I made a conscious decision to not repost anything about the virus. There's already enough saturated already.
Right.
I wanted to provide something like humor, fun, like track and field, because the Olympics was supposed to be this year and it got canceled.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
And I've been posting old videos of that, or songs of like hope and love. And then, then this idea to create, a mini podcast series with people who I know and admire and love, to like just come on and just provide value for people that are dealing with stress with all areas, relationship, love, self. So that is one of the reasons why I asked you, because because people are still dating. Like, this is not the time to stop dating. It's time to start connecting.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us, Coach, what do you have for us today?
I really think, and this is what I've been sharing with my clients and just, in general with my audiences and on social media, I've been saying, like, now is the time to actually really focus on connections, because I think with the modern dating world, especially with, dating apps like Tinder and these kind of hookup apps, right? We've gotten so quick to rush into something based on physical, right?
Yeah.
Based on attraction. And we're like in such a rush to hurry up, meet them, see if it's a good fit. And then it's just constant, right? We have options and it's just the swiping and we've become inundated with that. I'm talking about, just dating as a culture.
Yeah.
So now with everything happening, we actually can't rush into meeting someone, right? So this is where we actually can take a pause and look at what's broken about that.
Yeah.
And what I've been sharing with my clients is, social distancing is not social disconnection. This is actually the
Yes.
time where you create these
Connection.
connections. Let's get back to
Like never before.
right, let's get back to what works. We've forgotten that, and I think what really works is focusing on building real connections, emotional connections, with yourself and with the person or the people that you are interested in, right? Because that's where relationships are built upon.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's romantic or business or friendship, they're always built on connection. And so if we can take this time now to actually do that, it's actually might be a good thing for our dating life. I
Right.
think that's personally what I've been coaching my clients on, and what that actually looks like.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, you know, recently I've started to get more hits on my dating apps. I'm sure you are too. Um, but you see, I've always saw this, the lack of ability to people to initiate, start, and create conversation. Like, and
Mhm.
it's still happening, but I kind of like, I'm starting to see a little like change. People are making more of an effort. So it is, I mean, it is a really, the good thing about this whole thing is like, we all, even including myself, learning how to communicate, learning how to connect. And my
Yes.
biggest thing that I'm in learning of how to be there for others and listening. Like one of my friends, good friends, his best friend roommate died this morning of the virus, and I like to do just listen, and be there for him. And
Mhm.
he really thanked me, and and not really, I would like not giving him this false hope or anything, just like really being there and hearing him out, and coach term, like recreating what he said to make sure that he's heard and felt and loved. And
Mhm.
that's all I wanted to give to him, to make
Mhm.
sure that he was okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think that regardless of our situation right now, whether we know somebody or not, like this is a sensitive time, and
Yeah.
this is, it's in times of crisis where we often come together, right? Because we naturally want to help. Humans want to help people naturally, and unfortunately, it is the time in crisis where you see that the most. And so I think regardless if we know somebody or not, we're all sensitive to that this is serious, that this is, scary times or uncertain times, and we all can use more connection, not isolation. This is
Yeah.
the time we actually want to reach out to people. And I think, bringing it back to dating, that's no different.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity, regardless if a person that you match with online is actually the right person for you or not. Regardless, this is an opportunity to connect with another individual, a person that you can create a relationship with, whether it's a one-time amazing conversation or never again. We need to really see that this is a time where we cannot be isolated. I know a lot of people that are alone, or just haven't been able to see their families. Like, I know you're in New York, and it's hard there.
Yeah.
So how do we actually use the tools that we have, the resources that we have, to be able to connect with people?
Yeah. And that's a good point too. Like going back to something you said, like, you know, learning to recognize when you're swiping your judgments against that person
Mm-hmm.
based off of race, color, the way they sort of like got a little twitch or crooked, whatever, it's not about that anymore. It's really about, well, let me connect to this person. It may not look, because honestly, your ideal person is not going to look exactly what this image you're holding on to in your head.
Exactly.
Like, give that up and
Yes.
just learn how to connect. Really, just even looking at the reasons why you say no because of some kind of physical thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like learning how to give that up and like, okay, well, let me practice connecting, because this is a time to connect not only with those people on the apps, but like people in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about these three tips. So take us through it.
Okay, what did we say? We said social distancing is not social disconnecting. So now is the time to really connect. And one thing I want to mention is that, I think that with texting and messaging, it often gets lost in translation. There's miscommunication.
Right.
And I think that's the thing that leads to ghosting, because people sometimes, just say one thing and then it's easy to just be like, I'm not replying to that. Or, the message gets misconstrued.
Right.
So I say, take this opportunity to pick up the phone, use your FaceTime, this is the time. If you're ever going to do this, and really just be bold, just go for it. Like we're craving connection right now. Pick up the phone. That way you can just showcase who you are right off the bat. There's no confusion. You can, if it's FaceTime, we can see each other right here. You can see my personality. It's not like hidden behind a message that could be misconstrued. So get off the messaging, pick up the phone, connect with people. So
connect right away. And one of the new features I mentioned before on Hinge is that after like the first couple of interactions, a window pops up. Do you want to talk to this person on the phone? Like you do a visual, you can on the app that you could have that connection right away if the messaging is going back. So even with some dating apps, which to me translates like, okay, after a few messages, you're connecting. Let's take this to the next level by doing like a 10-15 minute call, like a coffee, like you're like going out in public, like let's do a 20-minute coffee Zoom date or whatever date. Like it's a perfect opportunity to step into, and then you'll see from there. But give yourself a time limit, 10-15 minutes, and be prepared on the call to do homework.
Yes. I mean, pick up things that you've seen about this person or read in their bio, seen in their pictures. Make it interesting. It doesn't have to be that difficult. Don't overthink it. This is really about seeing if they have an instant connection, chemistry, right? And then you can decide whether to take it further, and we can talk about what that might look like now that we can't meet in person. But I think you're right. Like just, I love that idea. And actually somebody that I'm connected with had sent me, he has like a dating app, which I'll check out. And if it's good, we can share it. And it's like a video dating app. So it's kind of what you said.
That's like old school.
Yeah. And I was like, that's kind of cool. I have to read it more, but basically that's the premise that you were sharing. Like you connect with somebody and then you go right to like a video chat. And that's like that's the connection. And I thought that's a great idea for right now. I mean, it's perfect timing for something like that. So it's good to see the other apps are doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Number two,
I said that, we're all stuck at home, right? Unless you have an essential job. So there really is no more I'm too busy excuses, which in dating, you get a lot. So I'm like, no, we're not
doing that.
I'm too busy, because we can call BS on that real quick, right? And I understand some people, still working from home and all that.
Because unless you're a therapist, like I knew a guy who I was kind of like ish seeing. He's a therapist. He's like, I am busier more than ever.
Yes.
Because people are dealing with their anxiety, their fear, and they need to talk.
Exactly. So unless you have that type of job or role, I would say we can get rid of the I'm too busy excuse. So I think it's now is the time to really, take some opportunities, right? Because you're going to see real quick
Yeah.
who's full of excuses and who's serious
Oh yeah.
about connecting and getting to know somebody and having a relationship. Because
Right.
like that's where I coach my client. I know you do too. We coach people that are serious about their dating lives because they want it to lead to a relationship, a long-term relationship. I'm not coaching people on how to like, pick up women and pick up dates and hook up. This isn't, so now is the time.
Yeah.
You see really quick, people
Like
are too busy or not.
it's like our mutual friend Michael Allen. No
Hmm.
games necessary. Like your bullshit is gonna be so on display now that it's like it's just on
Yes, it's on display. There is no more excuses. So we can call people out on that real quick. So I think
Right.
this is another reason why it's actually a good thing, right? Because we're gonna weed out the people that aren't serious.
Right.
Quick.
Quick.
Quicker than,
Quick.
before, wasting time and energy on this. You don't have to waste any more time and energy.
No. No.
So that's another thing. Um, and then I said, people right now are more open to organic connections than ever before because we are humans and humans need connection and we don't want to feel isolated. So if people are more open to organic connections, I mean, this is a great opportunity because we can, reach out and we can even go on virtual dates. And I have seen a lot of like advertising and things around this. And I think it's a great idea. You got to get creative is my point. And I'm actually doing a webinar, as you know, about this, how to virtual date while social distancing.
Hmm.
And you just got to be creative, which I love because I'm like, let's bring more fun and creativity to our dating lives. So
Yeah.
what better way to do that than now, because we don't have to do the boring, let's meet for a drink. Let's do,
Yeah.
let's go for dinner, let's think outside the box. Let's have some fun with this, and think about it. You could actually save money because you're not buying
I know.
anybody
I'm
a
saying I
drink.
see my bank
I
account
think
this
it's
morning.
kind
I
of
was like,
interesting.
you saved over $600 this
Right.
month.
And I'm like, you could actually go on, think about it. You could pick a Saturday and go on like 4 or 5 dates in a row, right?
Exactly.
Just get them in. You're not going anywhere. You're not traveling to the date. You don't have to feel guilty about it. You literally could hop on a video chat for
Yeah.
a half an hour with somebody, have a drink together and say, okay, bye next time, see you soon. And then you can think of the next creative date. But like, this I think is kind of fun to think
Right.
about, right?
I was reading an article where there was this couple. Well, they're not a couple; they're dating, and they had a couple of coffee visual dates. Then they had a couple wine, dates,
Mhm.
and then they made lunch together.
Yes.
One time, then they made their dinner together.
Mhm.
And then you also, like, a lot of apps are really pushing these like sort of like game kind of things where you can play, like especially House Party, where
Mhm.
you can get on a visual virtual like almost like Instagram Live. It's the same kind of format, but you're not live,
Mhm.
but you're like FaceTime with each other. And there's options for you to play games, to do quizzes, to do trivia. Like they give you
Mhm.
things to do.
Yeah.
So that could be something fun to do
Mhm.
while you're having a conversation over wine, while you're answering.
Yes.
I mean, their games are timed, so you got to be like quick.
Right.
But there is an option. There are options, and people
Yes.
are adapting quickly towards the times because like business are being affected, and so in order to stay afloat, you have to adjust with the time. Just like
That's
dating,
right.
you
Just-
have to
You have
adjust
to
with the time.
adjust. It does. So that's why I say it doesn't. You don't have to put your dating life on hold. I think I read this. It went viral, but it was like an article or something I saw on Instagram, and this guy, he saw his neighbor on the roof in New York, and she was outside dancing.
Oh yes, yes, I love that. Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, who's that?" Like, "Wow, she's cute, she's attractive, right?" So he had a drone and he sent the drone over to her with his phone number and said, "Hey, I'm the guy from over here. Like, text me if, just want to say hello." And then they ended up having an interaction and then they ended up going on a date. He's over here, he sends her the dinner for the roommate to pick up. And I said, this is so creative. Like,
Yeah.
I just love that idea because in a way, it will bring him back like some old school romance
Yeah.
into this right now. Cause you do have to think outside the box. Could you send your date a contact free delivery
Yeah.
and then, you enjoy it together over this Zoom chat? I spoke to somebody else who was saying, "Oh yeah, I met somebody before the quarantine and now we're actually, just dating virtually. And the other night we played music for each other."
Oh, that's
I'm like,
cool.
wow, that's kind of cool. Like that to me is so much more fun and creative than
Yeah.
what we were doing before, which not to
Yeah.
say everybody was having boring dates, but you know what I mean? Like thinking outside the box right now, you are forced to do that because we don't have another choice.
Right.
So,
And like in Aziz Ansari's book, Modern Romance, he did some research on why people connected more back then than they do right now. And one of the things, in the study, they found that the people who got married, they married within their vicinity because they didn't have all the social media stuff.
right.
So they had no choice but to connect. And if you really wanted to connect, you have to go find, look up that person, basically stalk this person down, like, "Hey, I like you. Hey, I like you." Like, but you can't just say that. It was like being romantic, finding ways
Yeah.
they like really becoming creative to what is the old school dating word, to court this person,
Court.
like learning how to court this person, like bringing courting back.
Yes.
And so studies showed that people who got married, they generally got connected with the people in their neighborhood, families in the building who had somebody single that they know and connected. So it wasn't all these options available. They only had what they had from block to block to block
Yes.
on their way to work.
Yeah, think about it, when our parents met, this was before the time, they had cell phones and internet and
Yeah.
all that, and it's just a different world. And I think in a way, this is great that we have access to these tools and resources because imagine if we were all quarantined and we wouldn't be able to like have the internet. I mean, that would
Right.
be worse. So why not just use it for something fun and have more fun with your dating
Yeah.
life?
Yeah.
I think this is the opportunity we have with this. So we have to spin it around. We don't have to put our dating life on hold. And in fact, like we said, I don't think you should be, because guess what? We're going to come out of this and it's not going to go back to a normal way of dating. So we
Right.
have to now think, what is the future of it? How can we really ride it out and, stay positive and perhaps build a nice connection with someone?
Right.
So by the time we do get out of this, you actually have already built that. And then it's
Yeah.
so much more exciting, isn't it, when you see that person?
Right. And we
Wow.
only have this moment right now. So learn how to live in the moment right now.
That's right. Right now. And, I want to bring up a comment that we got. It was a negative comment, but I think it's important to point it out, to be honest.
Oh God.
We got a negative
You talking about
comment.
Chuck?
Yeah. So a person that neither of us know, right, commented on one of our podcast, YouTube interviews. And, I really have to point it out because he mentioned that, this doesn't work.
I'll tell you what he said.
Yeah, please
And
read it.
He was like, the only way you can get a person is that you have a six pack, you're a millionaire, and you're good
Yes.
looking. These tips don't. This is bullshit. This
And he
doesn't
said
work.
that's what only thing that women want. And I want to say to Chuck, okay, that if you continue to think that way, then that's the exact reason why you will never have success in
Right.
finding the right person.
And it's interesting because as we were communicating, I was like, wow, look, his beliefs about himself,
Yes.
about men are like right there. And I said that to him. I was like,
Mhm.
that's your belief. And I said, as long as that belief is alive in you, you will
Yes.
always be single.
And you will
will
only
never
see
have a
that.
woman. Right.
'Cause I said to him,
Exactly.
remember I said to him too, if that's what you believe, then guess what? You're right. because
Right.
your belief is exactly what you attract.
Exactly.
So I think it's important to point that out, because right now we could easily fall into the trap of, oh man, what's the use? Why even bother? Like we could go into that negative hump, right? And really think that way with this, because it really did, like many people's lives, it has put a big, huge pause button on a lot of things. But I point that out because if you continue to think that it's not going to work and what's the use and why bother and everybody's X, Y, and Z, and then that's exactly what you'll continue to get. But if you really think, hey, how could I take advantage of this moment right now, live in the present, be positive, thinking about my future, better myself, then you're going to come out ahead. And that's why I feel it's important that we talk about this. So, that's my 2 cents.
One of my coaches says, and hopefully I get this right, we don't see people as they are, we see people as we are.
Yes.
And that's exactly what he was doing. He was seeing women and men and the advice, how he is about himself.
Exactly.
Wow, this is great. And my last question to you before we go, and well, first of all, thank you so much for being here and providing all that.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah. What are you learning about your self-love and life during these current times?
That's a good question. I mean, I think I'm just learning that I came here right now at this time for a reason. And, I know we're all going through something difficult, and we could easily fall into the woe is me trap. And I know it myself. I have gone through those days over the past couple weeks. But I just realized, you know what? There's always a silver lining. And I'm just thinking about all the things that I can do right now to better myself and stay positive, and how can I support others. And I think that's what I'm learning about myself, that that's what I came here for right now, and I think all of us, honestly, each individual, everybody has a purpose, and now is the time to discover that about you. And that all these things that we thought we had, right, they could be taken away at any moment. And so what is it that really matters to you? And that's even what I'm doing as well. So I think, this is the time to really look at that.
In when I was getting my certification as a coach, one of the books we had to read, I think The Theory of Love, which is a very difficult book to read, but it was very good to listen to. And he's and there by 4 psychologists, and I've heard this theme over and over between the different things we had to study. But at the bottom line, we're all born to connect, and it is a time now to get back to connecting. So where can people find you online?
Yes, people can find me anywhere on social media. I'm at Styled, STYLED Sharp, Styled Sharp. My website is Styled Sharp. Yes, my last name is Sharp, Tavia Sharp. So that's an easy thing to remember. And you can find me on social media. I have a YouTube channel and Instagram, Facebook.
Sharp Talk.
Sharp Talk. Yes.
That's a show on YouTube.
Yes.
Sharp Talk.
Sharp Talk. And I'm doing a free virtual workshop all about how to virtual date while social distancing and creative ways to make connections right now. So I'm doing that as well. And you can find that on my website. Actually on my Facebook page.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. Also, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And again, thank you so much, Tavia, for being here and just providing this for us during these current times.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.